Between 2025 and 2026, major U.S. foreign policy think tanks project a high probability of severe military conflict breaking out between India and Pakistan. This projection is anchored by formal analysis published in Foreign Affairs magazine, alongside specific risk assessments from institutions like the Carnegie Endowment. Historically, when military tensions peaked between these two nuclear-armed neighbors, the United States utilized quiet, back-channel mediation to de-escalate the crisis. Analysts assess that in the next conflict, Washington will not be able to intervene. In recent years, established diplomatic mechanisms used to halt military actions in this region have become a significant domestic political liability for the leadership involved. A future crisis is being accelerated by three converging variables: the loss of diplomatic trust, a hardened military response doctrine, and impending fifth-generation stealth aircraft. The architecture of South Asian deterrence has moved beyond the control of a single outside power. The next border incident will not be resolved through a simple private phone call. India maintains a strict foreign policy doctrine regarding Pakistan. All disputes are strictly bilateral. The Indian government consistently rejects any third-party mediation. This diplomatic posture was disrupted when Donald Trump publicly asserted that he personally intervened to stop a potential nuclear war between India and Pakistan. He repeated these assertions directly to the American public on the highest political stage, including during the State of the Union address. In New Delhi, these public declarations created a severe domestic political liability. Acknowledging outside intervention makes the government appear weak to its electorate, which deeply compromised the viability of any future back-channel U.S. diplomacy. If a new conflict breaks out and Washington places a unilateral call demanding a ceasefire, the Indian foreign policy apparatus is highly incentivized to ignore it to preserve its domestic standing. The severing of this trust pathway leaves a vacuum. No single outside power currently holds the necessary leverage to independently force an end to active hostilities. Unilateral mediation is no longer a viable safety net, leaving the region without its historical mechanism for conflict resolution, exactly as military postures become more aggressive. The primary catalyst identified for the projected 2026 conflict is a state-sponsored militant attack originating from within Pakistani borders. Covert actions and financial sanctions have temporarily suppressed militant capabilities, but this suppression remains an unstable variable. In response to persistent threats, India established a new normal military doctrine. A militant strike on Indian soil now triggers automatic cross-border retaliation. While initial strikes focus on militant camps, any subsequent counter-response forces the engagement upward to target sovereign conventional military assets. This removes the deliberate political pausing that historically served as a buffer during crises. The established doctrine now functions as a mechanical escalator, pushing a localized border incident directly toward conventional warfare. Currently, India maintains a significant defensive advantage through its deployment of the advanced Russian-designed S-400 air defense system. To bypass this specific defensive umbrella, China is preparing to export the J-35AE stealth fighter jet to Pakistan. This radar map illustrates fifth-generation stealth. Legacy fighters trigger early detection on the perimeter. The J-35AE deeply penetrates the dome before returning a signal, drastically compressing warning time. This provides a deep strike option against high-value targets and nuclear infrastructure deep inside Indian territory. The Indian military command now faces a strict tactical dilemma: wait for the Pakistani Air Force to fully integrate these stealth jets and lose their defensive edge, or execute a preemptive strike. Opting to strike first requires aggressively targeting enemy air bases and military installations before the stealth aircraft become fully operational. The delivery of these jets shifts the strategic calculus. It incentivizes striking first over the slow pace of diplomacy. India confronts a compressed tactical timeline from incoming stealth hardware at the exact moment the United States has lost its diplomatic leverage in the region. The 2025 to 2026 window represents the precise overlap where Pakistan will begin integrating these jets, maximizing the pressure for a preemptive strike and pushing the escalation ladder rapidly toward the nuclear threshold. To prevent a rapid regional escalation, diplomatic strategy must shift away from unilateral interventions and rely on coordinated multilateral mechanisms. A coalition of the United States, European allies, and regional partners must establish this diplomatic framework before a crisis occurs, because the speed of fifth-generation aerial combat will instantly outpace ad hoc negotiations. The model of a single superpower stepping in to halt a crisis is being outpaced by the speed of new technology. Navigating the 2026 escalation matrix will require an active multilateral network of global cooperation.